Okay, here we are on Metropolis, and in the center right side of the map we have Liquid TaeJa. He is our defending champion, and down on the bottom middle area we have MarineKing Prime, who is already up a game from that ridiculous game on Daybreak.
Yeah, that was a little crazy. If you're just joining us, make sure you catch the rebroadcast, make sure you catch the VODs once they're put up on youtube.com/IGN Pro League, as game number 1 was a little crazy. Initially, TaeJa had whittled MarineKing down to 2 workers to his 15 or 16, but then had absolutely no defenses back at home, and MarineKing did it right back to him. So it's was pretty ridiculous. And already MarineKing once again sending out a scout on the exact same time that he did last go around. Now this could just be a supply depot scout, but knowing MarineKing, could have something tricky up his sleeve.
Yeah, and you see the players chatting right now about how useless Hellions are and how slow they are at killing orbital commands. TaeJa asking, how many Hellions did you have? And MarineKing saying, I don't know, because
billion.
Yeah, 1,700.
Yes.
And yeah, they're still chatting, but that's fine. TaeJa building his barracks already, and MarineKing building his barracks already, just outside of TaeJa's sort of area. He doesn't know.
That's right.
He doesn't know exactly where TaeJa is. He could be in that top spawn or the right spawn. But, you know, barracks is in a nice central location just in case.
Now, I've seen a lot of players go ahead and scout that middle position anyway en route to finding their opponent. It doesn't look like TaeJa is going to do so. So this is going to go unscouted for quite a while. But once again, TaeJa is going to get inside of his opponent's base and see that there are no unit-producing structures. MarineKing deciding to get gas on 13. He did go gas first last time in preparation for the proxy reactor Hellion medevac drop, I guess we'll call it that. Yeah, that's good.
I like that. Go back to MarineKing's proxy. There you go. You've got the little landing zone. It's like, build proxy racks here. This is the spot.
This is the correct location. It looks like it is going to be proxy marauders, something that I saw that I said that we saw quite a bit during the Tournament of Champions. So as basically every Terran player in a TVT was doing this at some point during the best ofs.
That's right. That destructible debris is in a weird spot.
Yes, it is.
Why is that there?
Well, it helps to wall this off at the front
for Protoss,
a little bit more.
No,
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It makes it forge fast expandable, then you can kind of break out of that later on.
It's like, man, we can't attack that wall there until we blow up this destructible debris. Let's get on that. But anyway, yeah, the proxy Rex has already been discovered. TaeJa knows what's up. He's got 2 Marines against 1 Marauder. Marauder does not have concussive shells yet, so TaeJa really doesn't need to be doing any footwork here except to run away. Yeah. And, oh, he should be able to snag that Marauder. No, he doesn't go in on it. Interesting.
This has been pretty good control out of TaeJa and not great control out of MarineKing, as he does lose Marauder number 1.
Yeah, but now this Marauder can kill all 3 if he's careful.
That's right. So, and MarineKing does have very good control, just a little bit lapsed there, as he could have been a little bit more efficient about the way he handled the first Marauder.
Concussive shells are done now, though, so he can just kite all day.
That's right, and it looks like he's going to be able to pick off a couple of Marines pretty easily. Now SCV's pulled off the line as well. MarineKing doing a nice job of prioritizing the Marine, does quite a bit of damage to it. The SCVs taking some damage as well, and TaeJa in not the best spot in the world, still trying to put up his starport though.
Yeah, and the scouting SCV from TaeJa not building any proxy anything over on MKP side, so literally this is pretty much all that's happening. The Hellion is out. He is going to finish off one of those Marauders. I don't know if he's going to be able to snag the second one before losing an SCV. It depends what MKP is going to prioritize. There you just saw him shoot a shell at an SCV, a Marine, and then a Hellion. So instead of getting all his damage in on one target, he was just kind of spraying and praying. But now second Marauder shows up. They finish off all those SCVs that were there to help repair, and may even be able to kill off another Marine. Yes. Wow, these Marauders are so bulky and beefy. Hellions just
they're really
don't do enough.
Well, the Marauders keep on coming in now, and TaeJa is certainly still going to have to worry about this. Looks like he is doing the correct thing. He's going to go for Banshees out of this. May even be able to put up Cloak as well. No, going to prioritize, make sure he gets out 1 Banshee, of course, for the DPS, and then does have the gas to go for Cloak afterwards if he wants. There's 200 minerals, and there's Cloak. Yeah,
and TaeJa is scouting again. He's going to see this other command center coming up from MarineKing, so he knows that he's going to be behind shortly if he doesn't try to keep up there. There's a Cloak being researched now. The barracks decided it's done enough in its in its short career, so he's going to do some scouting of TaeJa's base with that barracks, and the tech lab will just sit there alone.
That's right. So can be occupied by TaeJa later on in this game, though,
do it
if it gets that far. So here comes MarineKing now, and oh, he still hasn't seen the starport yet. There he goes.
There he goes.
All right, and now he sees the tech lab is working as well, and should have seen that Banshee pop out right away as well. So what's going up for him back at home? For the time being, he doesn't have any anti-air. He's producing a Viking right now, but that Banshee is going to show up pretty quickly.
I like the symbol that MarineKing uses. That nice skull. That's one of my favorites when I play Terran.
Oh, nice.
But I have the BlizzCon one now, so LOL at you, MarineKing. You don't have that.
Yeah, you weren't cool enough. You didn't get the BlizzCon.
Yeah, but the barracks is actually going to survive. TaeJa didn't have enough anti-air there to get rid of it, and now the first cloakable Banshee. Well, soon he'll be cloakable. I don't see any turrets yet. There's one about to finish in that mineral line. There it is, and yeah, that's decent coverage. I would like to see one more off to the right side just to cover everything better, but now that Banshee's actually in trouble already because the Viking's already up. There's the cloak. I don't think he's going to want to use a scan here unless he gets in real trouble. Yeah, he's just going to hug that turret because there's nothing really valuable out on the outskirts that Banshee's going to be able to kill off.
That's right. This Banshee is already starting to take quite a bit of damage as well, down to just 80 hit points. Looks like Banshee number 2 was thinking about coming in, and Banshee number 3 is being constructed. That's awfully bold from TaeJa, but it looks like he's going to go for a big Banshee siege tank marine push, relatively unupgraded marines as well. You sometimes see this out of players like Complexity Nada in TVPs. And this push actually is very high DPS, but can be exploited pretty easily.
Yeah, so if the Banshees, they didn't actually kill anything, or he got 1 kill, but this actually did give him enough time to get that expansion down, which is going to be super helpful because MKP has done so much earlier, now they're going to be on somewhat even footing. Do you mind hitting units? I want to see the mining. Oh, wow, MKP actually way ahead, 34 SCVs at 28. So not just in offense, but actually getting that macro up as well. MKP slightly ahead on both fronts.
Surprised he hasn't brought any over. Oh, Banshee's actually tearing after the Hellions. They're not going to be able to get in and do too much damage. In fact, the defense up at the front for TaeJa is quite good as well. A Raven actually now on the way for TaeJa, which is kind of cool. And MarineKing going for something we've seen out of some Terran players recently, delayed cloaked Banshees. Your opponents will sometimes rest on their laurels, think, well, we're later on in the game. There's no possibility that anything like that is going to happen. I have to start preparing for tank pushes, marine tank pushes, things like that. They don't even consider these Banshees.
Yeah, resting on laurels. I mean, everyone gets caught resting on those laurels every now and then. I mean, where do they get all those laurels? I don't think I've ever owned a laurel to rest on.
Neither have I. Neither have I.
Yeah.
Is it
in
Laurel
Korea?
From, like,
is it a
Laurel
Korean thing?
Is it a person?
No.
Or is it just actual laurels?
I think the laurel's like some kind of flower collection.
No, I know what laurels are. I was just hoping that it was also. I imagine Laurel from Laurel and Hardy. Just,
well, do fangirls give TaeJa and MarineKing like big laurels and say, hey, rest on this in your games against MarineKing?
I hope he won't expect Banshees. So. Well, with that being said, this tech lab is now unoccupied, and I'm curious what it's going to be used for here in a second. The Banshees, though, from MarineKing getting in. There is a Raven overhead, though, so it's going to nullify a pretty good amount of this Banshee, and it looks like he is going to have to back away. Yeah,
we know that Banshees can kill Marines with Gosu Micro, though, from the StarCraft challenges that...
and MarineKing would be excellent at that?
Yeah, he'd probably be okay. He doesn't have to kite him in circles. He could just shoot in a straight line.
And it looks like, yeah, he actually did cancel Cloak, as we saw right from the end there.
Good choice.
Just at the very end, knew that it was going to be revealed. TaeJa taking the appropriate risks and going for a 3rd command center so we can start to catch up in workers, as we can see that he has done. Now, this came at the cost of a lot of his forces on the ground, but if he's able to pull this off for even a couple of minutes, he'll be right back in this game.
Yep, if he hangs out and is able to survive these Blue Flame Hellions, there's soon to be Blue Flame Hellions I see in the production tab, then he'll have some time to macro up and actually shoot ahead of MKP, as I haven't seen a 3rd command center come up from him yet. But this, this is actually kind of scary looking. These Marines may want to sit behind the tanks and let the Hellions take the first wave of damage, because they're just going to get splashed.
That's right. Oh, and it looks like the tanks are now starting to fire upon the Hellions. They have done quite a bit of damage. However, one of the tanks has gone down. A second going to fall as well. MarineKing just steamrolling this force, killing a lot of SEVs now, and things are not looking good for TaeJa.
And all that stuff I said about surviving, not likely anymore. Those Banshees did such a good job just pelting away at those siege tanks. He hit the one on the high ground right away so that those ground forces could sneak in even closer. But now Blue Flame's done. These SCVs don't really stand a chance. TaeJa down to only 40 supply against MKP's 89, 87.
Yeah.
So this is looking pretty grim.
That's right. Unit stab shows there are just 12, now 11 SCVs remaining for TaeJa, unfortunately. And he's going to lose a couple of his Vikings as well. The Marauder on the ground proving to be quite effective still. And he's just going to, well, you know, that may not be the most cost-effective in the world. Let's do some damage to a tank.
This tank is going to kill everything. Get him, tank. He's already got 3 kills. Oh, no SCVs left in here.
Nope.
Yeah, that's bad news. 11 SCVs standing for TaeJa, 55 standing for MKP. Banshee going to get its last licks in on that Hellion before the GG. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen now.
That is bad news bears for TaeJa. MarineKing can pretty easily take a third base here in a second. The only thing that TaeJa is going for him, of course, he did put up that third command center so much faster that he doesn't have to worry about taking another base right now. We can continue to replenish units. And the fact is, if we take the 37 worker deficit out of it, there's not a huge disparity in terms of overall army supply. But, you know, I mean, TaeJa, let's be honest, is in a pretty terrible position.
Is that the same barracks from the beginning of the game, just like looping around constantly?
I hope so.
Good God. He's kept that thing alive so long. Now he's just going to land it. Yep. Vikings, stop shooting me. I'm going to burn down in peace. Oh, wow, and the siege tank's splashing a little bit.
Yeah, that's right. Hitting the supply depot more than anything else.
Oh, I should have landed it right in the SCVs if possible.
Oh, that would have been cute.
Well, probably not possible, but...
MarineKing actually doesn't have siege mode, nor is it on the way. He's going to use these in punk mode and just kind of... well, try to kill his opponent that way. TaeJa is up to 28 workers once again, but still down by 52 supply. MarineKing now on 3-base mech, and that is a very, very good place to be.
What mode did you say?
Punk.
Punk.
Whenever they shoot in single shot DPS mode.
I thought you said punk bunk, and I was like, what does that even mean?
Yeah, so punk mode. You're not aware?
Punk is already kind of weird, but
yes.
Punk, I was just lost.
Punk,
yeah, there's that.
I got from Pain User.
I see. I see. That tech lab is actually paying off. No, it's not.
No, it's vision.
Let's gather at the tech lab. At least his troops know where they're going.
That's that sounds like a pretty cool hangout there.
There's an attack happening, but not anymore.
No, not really a lot happened there, unfortunately. So, and TaeJa really needs a big catch-up maneuver here. MarineKing does have the better air force, though. Is there enough for a point defense drone? There is, but he's already lost most of his Vikings before he puts down the point defense drone. That nullifies the amount of impact it will actually have in this game. TaeJa using Hellions to go through destructive debris. That'll took about 6 years. And MarineKing is just going to roll through the front, though. I mean, I've got to hand it to TaeJa. Let's be honest. I mean, he is our reigning Fight Club champion. He's not wanting to give up before he knows he's absolutely out. And I think that's very admirable. Not enough players do that.
That's true. I think if I had 11 SCVs left at, you know, the 12-minute mark or whatever it was, I would have left earlier.
GG.
But there's the GG now from